I don't embarrass myself too bad, but hopefully I'll give you something to talk about.
Good luck, Robert.
Yes, thank you very much. And again, I do appreciate
Enjoy yourself.
doing
Just
this.
remember it's a game.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
don't
follow your
forget
best
to foul.
player.
Yep, follow your best player. Always be fouling.
All right, later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Yep. They'll never see it coming.
They certainly won't. All right, I need to set up chat as well. This is...
So, Rumbad's completely hosed here, obviously.
I mean, Leeds just going to run over him, right? 3 removals off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, certainly. He's a much better coach.
Speaking of, have they ever played each other? I'm so used to Hellboy's casts of Andy Davis streams that I'm just prepared for stats. Do we have any?
Yeah, I haven't looked at that specific metric. I have pulled up a few things
I'll
on
say this
Spike
now.
in case we care.
What'd you find out?
The way for someone to win Black Box Trophy 7 is to go away and really, really practice hard with vampires.
What stats do you know?
Having some very weird noise coming in. Where's that coming from?
Testing. I don't hear anything other than
from somewhere.
so
I can tell you they both played Tree in the last 4 games with these teams.
Oh no shit. Was Tree the last
and Leet
opponent
for
for
1337, as I'm going to insist on calling him. 2 before for Leet, and obviously in the last round for Rumbad.
Huh. And how did they both? Well, we know Runbad beat Tree.
Leet's, at least under this identity, his Spike logged games. Yeah, they both won.
Oh, fascinating. So they have played each other twice,
Tree's
and once
team
with these teams, I believe. So Runbad with these high elves played Leet's 970 Khemri, so I assume that was his fresh team, and it ended 0-0 in October.
Yes,
So,
right back at the beginning.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's not an acceptable result in this game.
Very fresh teams.
Yeah. Well, look at that. It's different.
No, I mean,
then
you
we
would
had-
hope here that with the elves, and it is a nicely developed elf team, they should have a natural advantage over the Khemri.
They should. The question is, do they disappear? Because there's not much of a bench going on, is there?
Know until the dice are rolled, of course. It is a nicely developed Khemri team, but you'd still, as elves, think I should be able to, dodge around them and get the best out of this.
Yeah, just if you limit the hits, there's not much tackle going on except the 2 blitz raws, but at least you can dodge away if necessary for most players. But the bench is very so. Runbat has bench, but the bench is very unexciting, right? You don't want to be playing with those naked linemen. So
Yes, I mean they're great to keep in the way of your better elves, aren't they? So you don't mind replacing the line of scrimmage here with those naked linemen, but your doers. Your elves.
But you don't want to give up the hits on your good guys.
No, you want to keep those safe. It's one of the things that obviously everyone loves about high elves is of course the catchers. They are fantastic, but they are very vulnerable at AV7. Keeping 4 of them safe on field at the same time can be tricky. I'm a little surprised we're seeing the rookie on, and not the rookie
one of them is completely
AV8
naked
in that corner. Yeah, I think that's what I would have done is keep him off and put the AV8 there.
Have them
But it
as
just
a
shows
backup.
how much Rumbad is prioritising movement on his defence here, isn't it?
Well, which is interesting because Khemri, they seem like they should be slow, but they're not. They're not slow. They're not agile, but they're not slow per se.
No, even the Tomb Guardians
not
going
like
4,
orcs.
of course, can keep up with the dwarf, with most orcs. It's notably faster than a mummy.
Of course,
even
yeah.
that 1 square makes a huge difference, and it means if you really need to go for it, they can cover 6. They don't need to, they don't want to, but they can. Now we have
And
seen
there's
that
4 of them,
rookie
so you
dropped
can't
further
separate them
back,
out. Mhm. Yep.
and one of the better catchers rested onto the bench. I quite like that, keeping a blodge catcher safe.
Mhm.
Putting the rookie on instead. It's a little risky, but it keeps that
That's
good
interesting.
piece.
It keeps it for the attack if you need it.
Yeah, absolutely. While still obviously keeping, he can't bench the plus move plus agility one. That's his.
He can't.
He
That's
can't. It's the key ball hawker, ball fetcher. If anything happens
one
to that ball,
turner
that's the one
though.
that goes to gets it. Yeah, but it's still sometimes, particularly in a chalice, you've got to put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
You must when the devil drives. Your good pieces have to be put at risk because they're going to win you the game.
Were you going to say something naughty and then stop yourself?
I did. It was an outdated
Alright.
reference. I've decided to move beyond.
All right.
There is, of course, two extremely worrying Blitzras here, isn't it? It's the two Mighty Blow tackle pile-on pieces. That's going to put some fear in the heart of any elf.
So knowing that Runbad is, he's not afraid to do a little fouling, as we know, do you, if you see some aggressive piling on here, do you, as the elf coach, knowing that you have some, not great, but some bench, do you get to fouling?
Yes, I think you do. I mean, I think you can trade, particularly any of the three on the line of scrimmage right now. If you traded one of those for one of the Pommers, you'd think that was probably good business.
All right.
Well,
I'm excited
there's a good
to see
chance
that,
those Pommers take a couple of elves out each anyway. So if you can get to one of them early, but if it's surrounded by too many, if it's only like a +1 assist, probably not worth it. So if you can isolate it and get it on the ground, then yeah, why not?
And that's always good entertainment, right? If you see a nice big foul with elves. So
Leet is extremely experienced with Khemri here. One of the stats I did find, I don't know if he has other names, but he's played nearly 1,500 games on Blood Bowl 2 just with Khemri. Nearly double the amount he's played with all the other races put together. He has a very good record with them. He knows exactly what he's doing with this race. And it's a really nicely built Khemri team, as well as those Pommers. We've got very solid Tomb Guardians. Two, obviously, with just Guard and Mighty Blow. Two stand firmers with Guard, one of which has block. And that thrower's beautiful, isn't he? Plus move and plus agility, solving two of the big Khemri problems at once. And ideal to spring out from behind a Tomb Guardian base for that, that last-minute dash to the line. Really nicely built team, but you would still say that elves should be able to get inroads into any Khemri team, really.
PC, what do you think about the separation of the ball? Because it's looking like Leet is going all in. And
yeah, I'm already thinking he's a little committed forwards here. I think he's trusting that 1 in 9 won't fail, and he can get forwards into some form of security. I would have sent a couple of skeletons back for cover already. The problem with that gamble is then you are stabilizing in the backfield, because if you try and come forward, there's not enough to cover where you come forward to. So,
but isn't that, why not, right? That's the Khemri's playstyle. You stabilize and then you just destroy everything in your way, right? It
is. With its move, it can pick up and get very near where the Tomb Guardians are, but he is gambling a lot on being able to hold this very high line he's drawing.
Ooh. Look at that. Do we pile on? This is the question.
Yeah,
do we pile on here? Yes,
didn't
we
love
do.
that, because it's weakening this strong line he's trying to hold. I know it's a guard piece, but oof, this is a high risk. If he's prepared,
there's so many things can go wrong
find
here.
a way through this.
Yeah.
I mean, we lack a juggernaut, so we can't move the stand firms. But one of them, the one that's holding the linchpin right in front of the elves, is blockless. If he's prepared to risk a hit on it, I mean, the stun to the guard makes it tricky, but there is a route through with a lot of elves pouring into this backfield. It's one of the things I don't like about the offset here is we've got no pressure over on the left flank, so there's no way to fold around from that side. Oh my goodness me!
Oh my goodness!
Well, now we do have the misfield in the backfield, so we've got to get
Lady Yeti, hello, come on in. You got here just at the beginning when the excitement is starting. Oh my goodness! So you have to pour in now, right? You have to get around.
Try and find a way through. There's a 2+2+. If we take out the wrestle piece in the center, right in front of the Tomb Guardian that's just guard Mighty Blow, then there's a route through there. If you see a 2+ into web foot in front of where the tackler is, and then just a 2+ past the tackler in either direction. So if we can just one die that and push it to the left of where the mummy is as we look, then there's a 2+2+ route for lots of elves to break into this backfield. I think that's the way I'd be going.
This is where you wish you had a juggernaut so hard, but...
Yeah, that would so help. But that's not a bad route, a 2+2+. There's tackle on one of those 2+, but there isn't on the other, so that could be done. It is, as I was saying, a slight problem with the offset defense. We've got nothing on the left-hand side to sweep around that flank, which is why I really often go wide.
If we had a kick player, we could have controlled exactly where that goes, right?
Yeah. But here we've seen the Khemri really close down that flank with very little, just one little skeleton around the corner, and there's no route up the left.
Yep.
It does look like we're taking on the stand firm Tomb Guardian. I think I preferred my take on the wrestler plan, but let's see how it goes.
Let's see it, because if this goes down, damage 50% of the time.
Yeah, there we go. And of course, it is also AV8, so it's a nice thing to hit with Mighty Blow. If you're going to remove a Tomb Guardian, that's probably the one.
And they're running.
And now we're getting elves into the backfield, which is great. They're not as directly into the backfield as my plan, and it does leave them.
Do you tag out the tackle player there? The tackle thrower.
I think if we're
really
really pushing, yes, I think something tags that. Everything
because
else
then how do you
through,
protect the ball?
And we probably stand up on the line of scrimmage area and just take some hits as well.
Yep.
Trust of the AV8. Because the most more we can keep away from that, even against the Pommer, because we've got the bench, because they're crap elves, and because here's how we win.
I like the aggressive play. I'm hoping he's doing it, but
it's tournament style. You do need to up the risk profile sometimes, and if you can secure a turnover touchdown here, the whole rest of the game you can run away, because you're then in control. But to do that, you do need to tie some of these skeletons up and probably get another elf or two through.
There we go.
Yep, he's risking it.
He's risking it. They're
I'm looking for that rookie to come as well. He does.
Full risk.
Yeah, that's
attack.
lovely.
Perfect.
Lovely. Nice position for him.
All right.
I still prefer my route through, but it's a decent attack. It causes problems.
Let's see whose dice hold up. So we have 3 free players as we speak. And then...
I don't mind that we've kept our real killer elf dry, because if he goes down, it really is game over.
Yeah. It's harsh because he had to move him right at the beginning of the turn before he knew what the rest were.
Yeah.
To move it, make up space.
To create the freedom.
It would have been nice to, It would have been nice to hold on to him and wait until you know what your options are, and then maybe run him upfield as well. But
well, it was the other nice thing about trying to attack that wrestle dirty player was it's a single elf could have done that.
Yeah.
Leaving a lot of choice as to what you do afterwards. But that route was still a good one that Rumbad found. It was a nice Khemri Tomb Guardian to attack. It was a decent chance, as you said. It's a 50% die, and no real huge problem to get off it if it doesn't work. And it has given him that backfield threat. So 13,
and now we're pulling back.
Yeah. I mean,
1337.
I love the fact that Andy continuously calls him that. Doesn't seem to understand that it's Leet.
I don't think Andy's heard Leet before in his life.
So sweet, isn't it? He's so young.
Oh no.
It's the geek speak of about 3 generations ago, isn't it?
Oh, I would hope not. Because then I would prefer not to know it.
Sorry if that's upset you, but I think it probably is by now.
Oh, let's see. Another missed pickup would be clutch. It would be so, and that's
it really would. And it is a 1 in 9. It's, I mean, Khemri having to deal with 1 in 4s their whole life, and 50% in the rain because life hates Khemri in the rain. Perhaps he was a bit too flattered by that 1 in 9. Perhaps he didn't consider the risk quite enough. I mean, you pointed out, Giraffe, that he was very, very aggressively forwards in that turn 1. And I bet he's slightly regretting that now.
But if it worked, right? Like, it's a bit of a I'm going all in on my banger win condition, right?
Yeah.
Without.
I didn't feel against he was going to be hitting all AV8. I didn't feel that was, a great turn to think here's where my Mighty Blow is going to work. It's not like he was claw bombing them. I did expect he might get at least 1 stun or a removal, which he didn't, unfortunately. But...
no, I think he didn't he get a KO? He has a KO.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, his first hit was, but it was just alignment.
Yeah. Now that again, without following up, we really haven't controlled those 2 elves very much.
Yeah, they can just get out, can't they? And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That catcher is ready to go.
7, 8. Okay, that's because the 4 he's left there, he's planning on caging a full-on cage right in the middle of the field there.
Oh, wait, does he make it there with a? Oh, right, it's a speedy boy.
It's a single go for it, so it's a pick up and a go for it. So it's a 3+ with reroll 2+ to get where he wants to be.
Oh my goodness, we have a raid. Hello Rick, and 128 of Rick's friends. Today's a chalice heavy day, isn't it?
It really is. It's been a cracking day of games. I'm not going to spoil any of them, but there are some great replays out there on both Andy's channel and Rick's.
Yeah.
You join us here very early in this game. As you can see, we're in only turn 2. We didn't have a blitz. What we did have was a misfield from the Khemri. A very aggressive turn 1 from them. They pushed very hard forwards, leaving only the ball carrier to fetch a very deep kick, which he misfielded despite being agility 3. So now the Khemri are scrabbling to get it into a cage in the middle of their field, whilst the Elves did manage to put some pressure into the backfield. Not quite as much as I would have liked, but still enough to really worry the Khemri. The ball does go to hand this time. He's still got to go for it to do.
And
makes it.
Also note that Lead has a lot of rerolls, so he has rerolls to spend.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, a lot for the meta of Blood Bowl 2. And it's long established that Blood Bowl 2 is very measly with its reroll use, and tends to be quite conservative in its play because of that. In a tournament, I mean, it used to be standard on Fumble that teams this size would go into most tournaments with 4, sometimes 5 rerolls with the overtime format.
Leader
so 4
or
doesn't feel loads to me. Yes, perhaps leader and 4 or leader and 3 on a team with expensive rerolls. I don't know. I think 4 is a good number if you expect you might have to deal with overtime. Otherwise, you really do have to save them only for critical fails. You can't just choose to do a few go for it and cover it with a reroll, or think actually I do need this one down even though it's not vital, and perhaps do a greed reroll.
Well, the question is what you're giving up, right? And you're giving up roughly 100 TV, or sorry, roughly 50 to 70 TV, and that's not that much, incremental value in a Chalice game. It might be an early ladder, right? But at the towards the end, when everybody's fully developed, what's an extra?
By the time you're up in the 1900s, is it really that huge when you consider what it can bring to a team? But they're very hard to afford at that point as well. So.
Sure.
And with less and less people on the ladder, tighter and tighter TVs and smaller teams do seem to be where the meta's gone right now.
Oh, is that so? Are people leaving the ladder? Is that the current?
According to the stats that Artemis, who seems to obsess about these things, has shown me, there does seem to be less people playing in general at the moment.
Terribly
We've had for the last 4 years. No, I mean with Blood Bowl 3 imminent, it's not surprising, is it? I'd have thought we'd actually see a little uptick in the next month or two as people sort of practice and get a bit ready for the new Blood Bowl 3.
But I think what happens is there are fewer new people coming in because people don't necessarily want to buy the game when a new one is coming up to replace it. So
apparently there was a sale. It was in a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't see the usual sort of little spike.
Oh, was that a run bad preparation? I don't know if you noticed it. He was measuring up for foul on that Tomb Guardian with a.
Thought that's what was happening. Yeah.
I'm a little sad he didn't go for it.
I mean, I love the screen he's got. This is a very, very effective defensive line.
So he's just separated 4 players completely out from the cage.
And the stuns on one side make it impossible to look to advance that way. The other side is bleak as well. The cage is nice and solid. It's a really nice cage Elite managed to form there. The guards on the opposite corners, so any way in still makes it at least, an uphill dice. Tackle in there on the other 2 corners, so that there's just no easy ways into it.
Yeah. Where do you go as
How does it go forwards?
Right? Yeah, where do you go? Because you can't go right. You don't
right.
really want to start hitting the Blodge Stepper, because that can cause you all sorts of issues.
You go right. You go through the Rackle.
Go through the Rackle?
Because you're uniting with your 3rd Tomb Guardian by doing that. And the 2 stuns will come back next turn. So you try and push forward so that you can reunite them with the rest of your team, I think. I think that's where I'd be headed. Yeah, and I think that's where Leeds headed for the same reason.
And also possibly protect the stun guys from the foul that might come. And,
yes,
you didn't have enough players this time, but absolutely could do it again.
Yeah, that is the AV8 Khemri that is on the ground with 3 elves stood right in front saying, we're the assists. Find something shitty to foul with.
We're ready, yeah.
And I'm sure Rumbat will prioritise that if he can because of the AV8.
Yep. Honestly, even without the AV8, imagine getting that stand.
Yeah, it's a really nice piece to take out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the AV8 just makes you believe that much more. That, say, 3 assists, 4 assists, you can get that thing off the field.
Yeah. So let's see if Elite can try to protect that a little bit by standing around there and preventing more assists from coming in.
Well, what we've seen interestingly is a great stabilization from Elite, but at the huge cost of momentum, isn't it? He's lost all momentum in this drive right now. He's stalled in his own half, behind the halfway line, with nothing aggressive happening up in front of that, and the Elves total control of the field.
Elves are
But
on
he does have control of the ball.
standing up. There are no more hits, no stuns on the elves. He's gonna have 11 elves for him next turn.
Yeah.
That's great.
10. There is that one that was KO'd. You reminded
Oh
me.
yes.
But
10
yeah,
elves.
so I like this. He's using what he does have, which is the stand firm Tomb Guardian to take control of an edge, and he can hopefully just push his stand firms down there. But it does rely on that other stand firm being able to, take part, I think.
It's completely given up the middle. The middle is
Yeah.
just gone. Like sideline Khemri isn't really.
It's not the
Way you'd
first thing
like
that
to
leaps to
have
mind
him.
with Khemri, is it?
This just doesn't seem very
No.
very versatile and yeah.
But he at the moment isn't in a position to try and power his way through the elves. And
Yeah.
there's too many of them. Stabilizing has cost him that momentum and cost him any chance of removals.
Yeah, it needs a GFI as well. Do you just try to chip that corner and then?
I'm not sure he needed to be there. I think just dropping in behind the ball was just as safe.
I was gonna say,
I
like
think
maybe
that's
and try to get a little bit of
tiny
width.
bit tilty.
Yeah. Try to keep some width.
And also, we're still piling on at a time where positionally we're in trouble, which I don't love. I know
Yeah,
he's trying to get the removals going and get something going for himself.
I don't think
but
that was a piling on purple chest. That was a wrestle.
Oh, the wrestle. I see.
Yeah.
I thought it was piling on. I briefly
Yeah.
looked away. My lovely partner came and kissed me goodnight.
Yeah. But still on the ground. So many juicy. I'm still foul.
I'm still
hungry.
foul of the Tomb Guardian, I think.
Yeah. I like you gotta.
But all three
gotta
are
do it.
tempting, aren't they? There's 3 lovely places to do fouls here.
I know. All
Here
of them
can
were-
Tom Schnooze, you're just
There we
baiting me in.
go. That he's going for the corner piece and then the juicy
Yeah,
foul.
you can have a good smash
You
on
gotta
that and
love it.
still put more assists on the foul. So there's a lovely double win there, isn't it?
Gotta love it. Hit it maybe
Lovely
with
mighty blow
wrestle.
hit on that tackle.
Oh
lead
yes,
piece.
he has mighty blow, of course. That's even better. I mean, you might want to go for wrestle just because 1 and 9 gives you more assists on the foul, but
Yeah,
then you're missing the
I'm-
mighty blow.
yeah, I'm quite happy to mighty blow him, drop back, keep that piece safe, do the foul,
Yep.
and then maybe drop
Fair
something in on the ball afterwards. Yeah,
All right,
don't
nothing
love
there.
the push though, but still.
Maybe cut off the.
Yeah, now the problem is here is the
Oh.
foul gets called, we don't get anything in front of this advance, and they get
Yeah.
to slip down the side.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
we're going to have to put less
That makes
assists
sense.
in and cover the flank, sadly.
Kind of shuffle things around a little bit,
Yeah.
and then Yep. I like getting the blodge
Not
stepper
sure
as
that's
an obvious
enough.
hitting there.
Again, I really want to see this foul not get called now, because I think one more to cover the line would be very handy.
There you go. And he's sort of got it.
He pitched him.
Double fours? Not double fours.
No.
Rick has got me saying that now. And look at that. That's
And we do have the spare
That's
elf to
looking
come
mighty
down
juicy.
and drop on the line. Yeah, lovely position for him. I was thinking either aggressively in front of the mighty blow to keep him safe, or drop him 4 back.
Yep.
So 3 back from there would have been nice, where he couldn't have gone.
Look at how
tagged, maybe.
pinned they are now. Do they have to go back?
No.
You power through the guard?
You probably try and power your way through with the stand firm through the guard, because you're running out of time to come back.
Good evening, hey
It's a
Perville.
Very
Yeah,
difficult
no.
situation for
We started.
1337 here.
We are well in, and this is pretty exciting.
I was just thinking backwards might be a lost drive. We do have that pommer on the left-hand side that's already stood up. We could drop back and try and look at creating some catching options against elves.
Catching.
I know. And we're already in that desperate a situation.
Famous.
Things are already that bad.
Pass and play.
I mean, our other tackle pommer is standing up onto an elf, so he's not free. He can't stand up and blitz because there's no assist there. If we put an assist in there, we're then short of keeping the ball dry, which we're going to struggle to defend as it is. I mean, I think at least this guard dodge is only guard dodge. It doesn't have block. So at least we might be able to take it down and get something down this sideline, and then foul that piece out. But it's bleak. It's very, very bleak. The other option is you stay in place. Yeah, he is. He's putting the assist in and he's putting the claw palm in and hope the tackle mighty. Just hoping he finally gets some traction in removing these elves, I think. Well, that's what I meant, Perivale, is that actually, yes, there is a level at which people don't expect Tomb Kings to do handoff plays or passing plays. And that might be, I mean, Leeds experienced enough to know that that's sometimes the unexpected can be your best weapon. Or your
only an option. Oh,
okay.
And he's
That's a very high risk pile on.
It's quite high reward, but
Yep.
You're still down. You're on the ground now. Again.
Yeah. Well, it's the shortness of time and the lack of mobility now, but at least we got the removal, so the cost we pay is worth it. Probably. But now time is really pressing. As well as getting safe, we desperately need to find a way forwards in the next turn.
He might potato. He might potato at some. I mean, there's going to have to be a potato at some point in this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Tomb Guardians are escorting it all the way to the line at this point. I think you're right. But like I said, move 7.
Right?
Remember, move 9 with go for it. So if we can get him, not massively over the line, we can just try and spring him out the final turn. It's still probably more important not to be turned over and be 1-0 down than it is to be 1-0 up. But I mean, I don't know how he stops the high elves on defense either.
Killing them, and he hasn't done it yet.
This is a huge favour, because I genuinely think he did, but I don't think Rumbad needed to hear it. And Elite's very good, but I mean, so is Rumbad. He's a very fine player.
I don't think anybody's, everybody can lose at any point.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's one of the great things about Blood Bowl. No one's got the right to go, oh, I'm the best ever, because we don't know, and because anyone can win or lose any game.
Halflings can win.
Things I love about it. It's why I'm not kidding when people ask me and I say that even after, I think, 10,000 game, easy way in that there is, but it's right round the back, and I don't see Rumbad trying to get there and do that. The only thing that could do it really is the Super Elf. Oh,
I don't think it's
wrong.
time.
Perhaps I'm wrong. It looks like he's attacking.
He's going for it. Is it?
He is. Here we go.
He's
I think this is just
control.
another attempt at a Tomb Guardian attack, though, because if he knocks that one down, how the hell do they move forwards next turn?
Oh yeah, Super Elf is 86. I've forgotten about that. Oh dear.
Yeah, that's why he's been hanging all the way back.
Oof.
But if the ball goes to ground, you'll still see Rumbad sweep in with him and risk him to fetch
Oh,
him.
absolutely. I just don't know if he needed to be so aggressive when he was very much on the in control of the situation.
Had that been the blockless Tomb Guardian, I would have disliked it less, because then it's a 75% hit, isn't it?
Mm.
But it's 55%, and that is a bit risky, and you can end up exactly as we have with a lot of elves stuck on him. So now